Are you into small, light and also affordable adventure bikes? Then the Rieju 307 Adventure could be just the right thing for you. 138 kilos dry front and rear suspension travel of 235 millimeters, and at a price, at least in Austria, of $5,200, it will be delivered from spring 2024. Today in our review, we'll take a look at what you really get for your money. Yes, this week, at the beginning of the week, I was even able to test sit it at EICMA in Milan and get a first impression of the vehicle, and today it's already here for me to test. The 307 Adventure from Rieju is certainly a vehicle, especially in this 300cc class, that will probably cause quite a stir. For a price, at least in Austria, I'll just throw it out there, $5,200. In Germany, it will probably cost $4,999. That's not quite set in stone yet, but I'd say it will go in that direction. Based on its basic parameters, it's a vehicle that certainly deserves a video where we go into a bit more detail. We're structuring today's video so that we first look at the technical data, so we really know, okay, what do we get for this money? How does it work? What does it look like? Then we'll do a walk around. I'll show you all the details. I'll also show you how to remove the air filter on the Rieju, whether it's easy or complicated or how it works. I'll also sit on it so you can see how I manage with the seat height at 1.78 mid to really clarify the last details. Yes, and in the second part, we will of course take the whole thing off-road. I will take the machine on the TET to Hungary or Croatia. It's not quite decided yet, but one of the two, to really test the performance, mainly the off-road performance, but also the on-road performance, and to see, okay, how does the whole thing work? Because the technical data and the looks alone don't make a bike. So it's best to subscribe to the channel right now, then you definitely won't miss the riding video of the Rieju 307. But first, let's take a look at the most important technical data. We'll clarify that first and then we'll jump into the walk around. Yeah, and the Rieju 307 Adventure is powered by a single-cylinder engine with 293cc. It produces 33.5 horsepower and has a maximum torque of 27 Newton meters. It's paired with a 6-speed manual transmission. You can't expect a quick shifter or anything like that in this price range. Yeah, and up front we have an upside-down fork with a 43mm diameter and 235mm of suspension travel. And even in this price class, the fork is fully adjustable for both rebound and compression. In the rear, we have a monoshock installed, also with 235mm of suspension travel. We can adjust the rear shock for rebound, compression, and spring preload. For the brakes, up front we have a single disc, which is common for this displacement class or in this engine size class, with a 300mm diameter. We have a 2-piston brake caliper installed up front. In the rear, we also have a wave disc installed with 240mm and a single piston brake caliper. Of course, we have a Euro 5 Plus compliant engine and naturally ABS on board, which you can also completely deactivate on the rear wheel. The Adventure 307 is equipped with tires typical for a dualsport or adventure bike with an 8100 21-inch in the front. But I'll tell you in advance, it was the same with the Honda CRF 300, so you can usually run a 90-90 21 in the front, at least in Austria. In the rear, we also have the typical 120 80-18 for this displacement size. So 21 inches in the front, 18 inches in the rear. The tire manufacturer listed is DB. Never heard of it, but I'd say based on the tread, it doesn't look too bad for an OEM tire. Yeah, and now let's look at the additional equipment. What else do we have on board? And I'll say in this price class, it's anything but a given. First, we have genuinely backlit controls. I don't think you'll find that anywhere else in this price class. We have full LED lighting. Okay, we've seen that on others. But what I really like is this rally look with the stacked lights. So from the front, it really looks like a rally bike. The rear light is also very slim with a nice light shape inside, so that fits. Then what else do we have that's really interesting is we have a 7-inch TFT display installed here, mounted high. The animations themselves look okay, but the coolest thing about it is you can connect it with Carbit Ride and you can either have full navigation displayed on the screen or there's actually a mode for a one-to-one mirroring of your phone's display. That means if you're watching a YouTube video, preferably one of mine, you can mirror it one-to-one on the display. So I'd say those are some possibilities, especially with this Apple CarPlay-like function, or just being able to display so much on this screen, which in this price class of 5,200 euros, and in Germany probably just under 5,000 euros. I mean, that's really, it kind of blows me away, you have to say. But what else do we have on board? These, nice little helpers or things that don't seem so important at first glance, but still, when you have a bike like this, they cost a few extra euros as accessories. Namely, we have a luggage rack in the back. We also have a skid plate. It's only made of hard plastic, but I'd say for your, first attempts, it's completely sufficient. We have a brake lever that can't brake. Instead, if you crash, it will bend inward down there. Then you just bend it back out and you're done. We also have the gear lever, which folds accordingly. So I'd say you can really tell where, Rieju comes from. I mean, the brand is mainly known for its, mopeds or 125s, but also for their motocross machines. That's where they come from. That's their territory. And you can see here and there that they've included some small gimmicks, and in some cases they've really thought things through well. Before I hop on this bike, I want to talk about the R version, because the Rieju 307 is offered in the adventure version, like the one I have here today, and in an R version. I don't know if this applies to Germany, but in Austria, the R version is not offered. That means only this adventure version is available. However, if you want, you can order the more or less conversion kit for the R from the importer. What's included in that? It includes an aluminum skid plate, Norby tires. I've read that they are the Michelin tracker tires, and a different set of graphics. Those are the 3 points that really make up the difference between the Adventure and the R. That's all it is. So if you really want the R, if you say it looks much cooler with its graphics set, you can, let's say, optionally order it right away with the Adventure. But now let's also look at some parameters that are very, very important for a bike like this. First of all, the tank capacity. We have an incredible 21 liters here. And I'll also tell you why we have 21 liters, because Rieju was quite clever, you have to admit. All of this here, so this here, where I'm knocking everywhere, down here, this here, so here, this whole area, this is the tank. They didn't just build an 11-liter tank somewhere and put some fairings over it. Instead, they more or less, instead of installing fairings, just built a huge tank and put more or less just a graphics set on it. I think it's actually really smart, because there are no official figures on what this thing consumes, but I'd say with 300cc, if you're getting 4 liters out of it, you've probably been riding it the whole time at, 130 on the highway. The Hondas and others use around 3 liters. Let's give the Rieju an extra liter. With 21 liters, you can ride for 500 kilometers before you have to turn off somewhere, or rather refuel. So if you use it for enduro touring, I believe you can really get 600 kilometers out of it if you really fill up this massive tank, all 21 liters of it. What's also interesting is the seat height. Here we have a stated height of 89 centimeters. I'd say on the spec sheet that sounds really high. I'm 1.78 meters tall, have an inseam of 84 centimeters, and I'll hop on so you can see what it looks like, because with dual sport machines, the seat height is usually a bit higher than on the larger adventure bikes, and of course, many people are always afraid they won't be able to reach the ground. I'll just hop on, I'll stand it up straight, fold in the kickstand, and you can see that, first of all, I weigh 90 kilos and maybe should lose a little weight over the winter. But when I sit down on it, you can see the rear squats down a bit, but not as much as on a CRF 300, which I owned for a very long time. With my height of 1.78 meters with an 84 centimeter inseam and wearing normal, sneakers instead of touring boots, I can reach the ground relatively well. Now let's also look at the knee angle, because that's also quite important. I have relatively long legs for my height, but even so, it looks very relaxed. Also, my knee here in this recess, and also here where this pad is, it's a bit, roughened or has some nubs on it. So I'd say when I'm sitting on it now, I can fit my knee in there perfectly. For someone 1.95 meters, it might be up here on the edge, but I'd say with my height, I get along with it really, really well. Also, when I sit upright or am in the riding position, I notice that I'm sitting very upright on it. I don't know if I would necessarily need handlebar risers. The standing position on the ride over felt relatively good, at least for my height. But now let's do a walk around. I'll show you all the details, and we'll also remove the air filter together. So let's go through the device from front to back. If you look, we have rims from GLM. Doesn't really mean much to me, but I'd say if the provider already puts a name like that on it, it probably isn't, such bad quality. Of course, up here with the high fender, so basically all parts are black and there's a decal set on it. That means I'd say there are probably many, many variations for you to customize your bike. If we then look at the front mask, we can see that we can't adjust the windshield, but for a dual sport device, it's relatively high. And also the positioning of the lights, like the high beam and the normal main beam, I find relatively cool. Also here with the Rieju lettering inside, I'd say that looks like a good fit. Turn signals, I'd say for a dual sport device, it's okay. They could be a bit narrower, but the winter is long. There are, of course, possibilities to modify something. Let's talk about the handguards. They are only made of plastic, but a plastic that I'd say can withstand at least one crash. If it gets really tough, I would at least mount aluminum bars, but I'd say I've seen softer or more delicate ones from other providers, so that's fine. If we look further, we also have a brake lever that can be adjusted in width. You can adjust it here with the little wheel, which is also not a given. Otherwise, the fittings here are backlit. We have the ignition, ABS button, hazard warning lights, and the starter. If we then look at the other side, so that we've checked off the topic of fittings, we have a set button here to get into the submenu, a mode button, high beam, turn signal, and the horn. The clutch is not adjustable in width here. I'd say with my hand size, glove size 9.5, 10 or so, I can manage it quite well. All right, let's take a look at the plastics and also the build quality so we can check out things like the panel gaps. This is actually all part of the tank. And I'll step back. This is really all tank. So it goes from down here. So this is also the edge of the tank, but don't worry, nothing's going to happen. So you can lay it down. A stone isn't going to come along and make a dent in the tank. Otherwise, you'd really need to put crash bars on it. You'll have to see what's available in the accessories. But as I said, this is all tank. The plastics themselves are okay, I think. It's not the ultimate in fine craftsmanship, but I think it's nice. And what I really like is the color scheme. So with this gray, black and white and the red lettering in there, I think it looks pretty cool. So from a visual standpoint, they've done a good job at Rieju, also with the red seat back there, giving it a certain look. The exhaust too, while we're at this angle, is nicely upswept. So not somewhere down low, but really pulled up nicely. As for the sound, I'll play a few sound clips for you now. All right, and now let's see how we get the air filter out of the Rieju 307. Okay, so without practicing, how do you get the air filter out? We have the key here, take it and insert it down here. Open the seat lock, take the seat off. Then we're basically here at the air box, all with one hand, mind you. We open this, put it to the side, we give this a pull with a bit of momentum, and we have the air filter out. And according to the recording, it took us not even 10 seconds with one hand. So some other manufacturers could maybe take a page out of their book. So I'd say removing the air filter in 20 seconds with one hand isn't bad. Before I give you my impressions from today, or rather, my summary, let's really address the most important question of all. No, just kidding, but how do you pronounce the brand? For you, is it Rieju, or is it the way I believed for almost 39 years, Rio? Because I've known the brand for a long time, from the mopeds, from my moped days and so on. And where I'm from, they were always Rios and not Riejus. So for Rieju, type A1 in the comments. For Rio, type a 2 in the comments. I'm really curious what the common name for the brand is in the German-speaking world. So, but now, what did I feel? What were my impressions? I've only ridden it for 16 kilometers, so I don't want to get into the riding impressions or anything, how it handles and so on. For that, we really need to ride it off-road, really put it through its paces, break in the engine properly and so on. So there will be a video for that. It's best to subscribe right now because the riding video will be coming in, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks. then I can really tell you how the whole thing handles. But anyway, what's my first impression? What or how does it all feel to the touch? What do I feel when I look at the bike, touch it, and so on? You really have to say that it's not bad. So the components themselves, from the fork or the suspension, I don't know who the manufacturer is, but at least it's fully adjustable. We have 235 millimeters front and rear. We have a fully adjustable shock in the back, so the basic parameters are really top notch. And the coolest thing about this bike, on top of that, I did some research, or rather, I came across a Spanish article, is that the 307 Adventure's final assembly still happens in Spain. So, of course, a lot of parts are bought in. The engine is also a Chinese engine, a licensed build. In the past, Rieju had a lot to do with Yamaha and Magneti Marelli. Whether this is a licensed build from Yamaha or something, I don't want to claim that. I can't really place it anywhere. But the final production, the final assembly is really in Spain, at least according to this article. And then this whole package for this price, I'd say you really can't go wrong. I hope I was able to give you my first impression of the 307. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I think I've said that 3 times today. I'd be happy if you did. And yeah, write in the comments what your opinion is on the Rieju or Rio 307 Adventure. And I wish you a wonderful day. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.